So, welcome everyone to this information webinar on the ENGAGE.EU Academic Initiative Incubator, and in particular, our seed funding call. I'm Annika Seemann. I'm an advisor at the Norwegian School of Economics, and I'm here today with my colleague Linda Rytledal. We are in charge of running the Academic Initiative Incubator together with a team of local contact points across the Alliance. And I'm very happy to see that so many of you have showed up today, including also so many contact points from each member institution, so that we can, in the discussion, have a lively discussion, and we can also bring you in contact with your own contact point. So here's a brief overview of today's presentation. So I want to start with just a very, very brief introduction to ENGAGE.EU, because I'm sure most of you know what ENGAGE.EU is and what it's about. We will then talk about the Academic Initiative Incubator, which is very new, just recently launched. And thirdly, in particular, we will discuss the seed funding call, which we've launched, discuss what it is that you can apply for, what we're looking for in applications, how to apply. And this will then be followed by a question and answer session. Very briefly about ENGAGE.EU, it is a European University Alliance. We have 9 partner institutions, and we are now in our second funding period. We really cover a very wide range of activities. So all of the 9 partner institutions have a very strong profile in business, economics, social sciences, and we work together in all arenas, really, of research, of teaching, education. We also have a very strong outreach profile. We are engaged with mobility, careers advice, and all of these activities, they center around the ENGAGE mission, which is to provide European citizens with the skills and competencies needed to tackle major societal challenges. So this is our focus, this is our mission, and this is what all of the activities we're engaged in revolve around. Here's a brief overview of the Alliance. As you can see, we're active in the whole of Europe, and I would strongly encourage you to visit the ENGAGE.EU website, which has up-to-date information on all of the many different activities we are engaged in. But today, the focus of our discussion will be around the Academic Initiative Incubator. And I'm going to start by outlining what it is. This is a quote from the guidelines for the seed funding, which describes the Academic Initiative Incubator. So the ENGAGE.EU Academic Initiative Incubator, it aims to foster new collaborations in teaching and learning across institutions in the ENGAGE.EU Alliance. It is an instrument for partners to develop bottom-up initiatives for new educational offers, new content or new formats, and to provide learners with high-quality international opportunities for learning. And I want to emphasize a few words here. Firstly, collaborations. Second, bottom-up initiatives. And thirdly, new content or new formats. So what does this mean? So what is the Academic Initiative Incubator about? Well, it's about enabling academic teaching staff to develop new teaching initiatives in a bottom-up manner. And this is really important. We want to give academic teaching staff the opportunity to develop new educational offers themselves. The courses, the educational offers that they find relevant, exciting, and we want to give them the tools they need to do this in a successful manner. Collaborative, so we need 3 partners in the ENGAGE.EU Alliance involved. This can include associate partners, and I will get back to that in a moment. Mission-led, so it is an ENGAGE project, and everything we do, as I mentioned in the beginning, revolves around this mission of tackling major societal challenges. And very importantly, new or already existing courses. So the reason we stress new content or new formats is when you develop a course with the help of the Academic Initiative Incubator, you do not need to create an entirely new course from scratch. You don't need to develop completely new content, but you can think in creative ways about maybe delivering something you're already doing in a different, more collaborative way. So this really is an opportunity to get creative and to think of your current teaching offers and to think about how you can maybe combine them with some of the partner institutions, how you can focus them on the ENGAGE.EU mission, and how you might be able to deliver them in a new format to reach out to a larger number of students in the entirety of the Alliance. And I want to spend a moment just outlining some of the advantages of teaching jointly in the ENGAGE.EU Alliance. So of developing teaching initiatives together with 3 or more partners, rather than just focusing on your teaching load within your own institution. Starting with advantages for teaching staff. So when you work together across the Alliance, I mean, obviously new collaborations, both on the topic of teaching, but these can also be potential research collaborations and so forth. So you work together with a wider range of colleagues. And of course, you have a larger, more diverse classroom. So suddenly you have access to 125,000 students who might be interested in taking your course. Work sharing, not to be neglected. So even though it's time consuming potentially in the beginning to develop a new format or a new course, you could share forces with other academic teaching staff. You could divide the teaching burden in a course, and that way you could ensure that you have a course where each segment is taught by an expert in their field. If, for example, you would like to offer a course, but it includes some parts that you are not entirely interested in, an expert in, then you could use this opportunity to share the work burden. And you have opportunity for pedagogical exploration. So what we want to do with the Academic Initiative Incubator is really to allow you to use new kinds of pedagogical tools, be that digital tools or new formats, and we're happy to assist you with exploring these opportunities. And for early career staff, I also want to emphasize that the kind of course development you could do through the Academic Initiative Incubator in cooperation with other partner institutions is really great for CV building, where you typically, if you want to be promoted to a tenured position, need to show experience in course development, international cooperation, but also acquiring funding, which you would be able to do through the seed funding scheme. Briefly about the advantages for students. Of course, by joining forces as academic staff in the Alliance, the students get access to a lot more diverse teaching offers. They might get access to an expert, an academic teaching staff member who has an expertise that is not found at their home institution. They also get a wider exposure to different teachers and teaching styles. And very importantly, they get international experience at home. And I think this is very important to emphasize that not all students can go abroad, for example, for a whole semester. Some have, financial constraints or family reasons or work commitments that don't allow them to spend significant long periods abroad. They would still get access and benefit from the academic expertise in the whole of the Alliance. So what is the aim of the Academic Initiative Incubator? Well, we want to support academic staff in the best possible way to develop courses together. And what we can offer is we could help with exploring different teaching formats, different course formats. We are happy to help with matchmaking, trying to find the best suited teaching collaborators for you in the Alliance. And we are also happy to help with promotion, promoting your course in the wider Alliance to make sure it has a good turnout. And finally, the seed funding that we will discuss in a moment. And the overall aim from our side is to enable the launch of at least 6 new teaching initiatives by 2026. But of course, we can't do this. We depend on you as academic teaching staff. I now turn to the seed funding call. And I want to start by just highlighting what the seed funding is intended for. So the incubator seed funding offers financial support to collaborative initiatives. And what it seeks to do is it wants to offer incentives for you to mobilize you to develop and implement mission-led innovative educational offers across the Alliance. And the seed funding also helps to or seeks to promote the visibility of these collaborative efforts. And finally, it wants to help in bringing these educational offers into a sort of sustained existence. So it wants to help you in establishing a long-term sort of structural anchoring and financing for these initiatives. So what does this mean? So it's intended to help you develop joint teaching offers. And in practice, what this could mean, and we have a non-exhaustive list in the guidelines, but it really is non-exhaustive. If you feel interested in developing a course together with, you have identified 2 potential collaborators or more, but you really feel like you need to get your heads together to explore how this can best be done. You need to do this in an in-person, say, workshop. The seed funding could cover the travel costs or the workshop costs for this. And it would allow you to develop this teaching initiatives together in person. It might also be the case that you want to teach in a new format or using a new kind of digital platform or tool, in which case the seed funding could cover training costs. We also could cover something like video production if you are engaged, if you're planning to do a video course. And finally, something like course material, the production of course material, anything that will allow you to develop and implement a new educational offer in the way that I described, mission-led, collaborative. So how much can you get? It's up to 10,000 euros per teaching initiative, which is not an insignificant amount. At the same time, this is not a permanent funding for your course. So it's about developing the course, getting it up and running. But to have a course running permanently you would need to then have an institutional anchoring and of course like a long-term funding plan. But it isn't not an insignificant amount, and there's a lot of different ways in which you can use this money. So what are we looking for in applications? So emphasizing this again, joint teaching offers involving 3 or more partners, and this can include associate partners. And we're very excited that St. Gallen wanted to explicitly be part of this seed funding call. And in the guidelines, if you want to include St. Gallen, there's a note how to proceed in that case, and who to contact if you want to involve them. For this seed funding call, we have limited the potential courses to bachelor or master's level, but this might be revised later on. So if you are interested in planning a PhD course, for example, then I would encourage you to check future calls next year and in the years beyond. Of course, related to the ENGAGE.EU mission, if you're planning to apply, this will be really relevant to stress in your proposal how this course contributes to the mission of tackling major societal challenges. And what we're also looking for is, of course, this is an incubator, and we want to get new teaching initiatives out into existence. What we want to see is an idea of how this teaching offer that you have in mind can be sustained, and how it can be used in future, how it can also be scaled to different numbers of learners. And turning now to the practicalities, how to apply. Well, you might already have a partner in mind, someone you've already taught with or researched together with. But if you haven't, but you have an idea for a course and you really would love to teach jointly, then I would encourage you to use the research community platform. And I'm not sure how many of you have heard of this, and I will show in a moment how you can do this. But what you can do is you can add a new post, for example, for a teaching collaboration. You can say, I would love to do this course. Potential collaborators, please contact me. That will also be sent as an email digest to people who are also registered. And this research community platform, I mean, it really depends on people using it, and it's a great platform. So I would encourage you to use it as an academic staff member in the Alliance, because it's a great resource to have to connect people. Secondly, you could also contact the academic initiative incubator contact point of your own institution, who would then be able to help you drawing on their network in identifying potential collaborators. But of course, you can also do the research yourself. You probably have the best idea of who you want to teach with, and approach colleagues directly. And yes, then it's about developing the idea together. And the application is pretty straightforward. We've tried to keep it very simple because we realize academic teaching staff are very busy, and we wanted to not add to the administrative burdens that you already have, but really to give you the opportunity to use this resource in as easily as possible a manner. So it's a 2-step application. You write to your local contact point, and this is important because they will be able to help you clarify any uncertainties. They will be able to guide you with the application, and also it will be important to know how many applications are coming. And then you submit the completed application form to this email address. I will show you in a moment how you can access the application form. And very importantly, the deadline is the 25th of September. So just to show you what this looks like, this is a brief excursion now to the research community platform that I just mentioned. And you can see that this is a screenshot from the website. It's very intuitive, very easy to use. You can create a new opportunity here at the top right using that button. you can specify that as a teaching opportunity, and then it will come up here on the website as a teaching opportunity. You can specify the topics that you're interested in. And as I mentioned, this will also be circulated in email form, so it will reach out to a lot of people. The application form is linked in the guidelines. The guidelines are on the website under the tab Academic Initiative Incubator. And just to make sure you don't miss it, the application form is linked here in the guidelines under point 4. And it takes you to this Word document. Again, we've tried to keep it really, really simple. It is, we want to see no more than 5 pages in total, but this application form gives you room to fill in to describe your proposed teaching initiative. And it also contains a budget section, which can often be a little worrying to see in these kinds of application forms. But again, I want to stress that we've tried to keep it very simple, to just insert your expected costs. I should add, though, that the costs that you applied for, they can't be increased later on. So if any excess spending, then we didn't have the funds to cover that. So it is really important that you include a realistic amount, and you can use for these kinds of costs, such as travel and subsistence costs, just like the usual rates in your country. Finally, the selection process and timeline. So what will happen after the deadline on the 25th of September is that we, as a review team, look at the applications and rank them. And the ranking criteria are listed. So we're very transparent about this. They're listed in the guidelines. So I'd encourage you to check there what it is we look at. But most of it I've already covered. So it has to be related to the ENGAGE mission. It has to be collaborative. It has to be potential or ideally sustainable in the long term, and reach out to a lot of learners, potential learners. And we've also specified that if different initiatives get equal scoring in this, the category of impact will be the most important. So impact meaning how many learners does this initiative reach? The final decision will be taken at the end of October, and successful initiatives or all applicants indeed will hear back in early to mid-November. And there's no earliest start date really. The funding period officially starts in November. It is important, however, that you get the teaching initiative off the ground by October 2026 at the latest. And finally, once again, the local contact points are a great resource. I would encourage you to reach out to them. They are also listed on the website, and they will be able to guide you with the application process and answer any questions you may have. Thank you very much. This brings my